Okay, so this is how the live trade room, the live trade signals room works. It's very simple. You're going to receive a price that will have a bias for buying, or you will have a price that will have a bias for selling. And then sometimes you'll have both. So obviously if there's a price to sell, it's going to be much higher than where we're at. And if it's going to be a price for buying, then it's going to be lower than where we're at. And so when you log into the room, it looks like this. So today is Tuesday, June 6, 2018. You're going to have very specific prices. Now, a lot of times you're going to have several minutes, anywhere from 2 to 4, even 10, and sometimes a half hour before those prices even get hit. Anyone can do this. If you have the ability to put a line on your chart which represents a price and click buy or sell, depending upon the bias of the direction, then you can do it. I mean, really, this is short of us clicking buy or sell for you. So if we look at the exact prices that we gave today, so if we scroll down here, buying 45.75 is super aggressive, chasing 43/0.5, so depending on where price actually gets to, and then 40.75, 39.5, or 7.5 is basically last chance for any higher for now. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do with your information? Well, this is for buying, so we can see right here it's for buying. So then what you do on your charts, that was at 23. So at 23, I put those lines on my chart. So obviously the market's already happened. So here's that 45.75 price, and then I put the other ones, here's the 43. And if we scroll down here, here is the 40.75, and then this one is the 39.5. Okay, and by the way, it doesn't matter what charts you use. You can use NinjaTrader. This happens to be TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. Whatever account you have with, it doesn't matter if it's free or if you pay for it or whatever it is. As long as you have a feed, you can do this. So let's see what happens. So we said for buying at 45.75, and it hit it. It broke it by, it looks like a tick. And if we go back to the trade room, okay, if you bought, this is super conservative TSP, so that was at 736. Okay, so at 736 we have our peak here at 48, so it hit that. It was actually 48.5, so not quite 3 points. So you want to exit in front of that, so you want to take profit there. Okay, and then at price given at 746, I'm in Mountain Time Zone. At least right now I am, 47.75. That was an aggressive rebuy. So here's 47.75. We take profit here if we can get higher than that. So we were already higher than that. We were back to our exit from taking profit. And if you want to get back in, here's another chance to rebuy. So I start the lines on my charts when the post was made. So at this candle right here, when it was up here, that's when the post was made. So you can buy this. You would have been down 3 ticks is all in that trade. So you can take a small profit here. Later on at, let's go to the charts, or the trade room. 50.25 is most conservative TSP. 53.25 is the next TSP. So 50.25. So all you do is put that on your chart, or just know where that's at. So here's 50.25. And then the next target was up here, which you can see we didn't get to. So we take profit here. Remember, we're in at 47.75. If you held on, so let's say you're trading 2 contracts, or if you're trading multiple contracts, what we like to do is exit, take quick profits at the first exit. So people ask, well, what's the exit? What if you don't give an exit in time? That type of a thing. So here's all you do. You have prices that are given for buying. You can take profit at the next entry level, or you can take profit at the exit that we give. So the green are exits. I've just colored them green to give myself a color coding system, so I know where to get out. Green means money, right? Blue is for buying. So you can get out at the next level if one is given, or the exit. So typically that's labeled TSP, which just means take some profit. Okay, so you've been here, grab a few points here, you're back in here, grab another few points here, Now, if we don't make it to a level, what do? Well, you don't want to lose money on a winning trade. So it's wise, once you're up, in this case, if you rebought at 47, and now we've peaked out at that high at 52.5. Okay, so you're up roughly 5 points, maybe 4.5, depending on your entry. So you're up 5 points. Are you going to let it come all the way back down to your entry? I hope not. So we've already given these profit targets here. So if we're up here, we're about a point away from that target. It would probably be pretty wise to pull an exit up to that last TSP level, okay, just in case. So in this case, we didn't quite get there. Okay, so what happens to these other prices? So entries are almost always good for one entry. You can try them again, but what you have to realize is that the market's only going to bounce off of a price level for so many times. So it gets riskier the more times that you trade a specific price. So you can do whatever you want to do. You can trade it again, or you can wait for the next one. So in this video, I'm just going to only talk about the first entry. So we enter here, we enter here. Okay, so you got 2 to 2.5 points in this first one. You re-enter at the 47.5, 47.75. So you got, depending on where you pulled out, you got another 2, 2.5, maybe 3 points on this one. If you saw this pullback, maybe you got 4, but somewhere between 2 to 4 max on this run up. Okay, so right now we're 40 minutes into the market, and you should be up anywhere between 3 to 6 points depending upon where you pulled out. Okay, so what happens then? Okay, so as the market's developing, we obviously drop. We're back to this one. Remember, we're only going to talk about the first entries. So then the next buy is here. Where do you take profit? Remember, take profit at the next level, which was here, or you can hope the market continues in that direction and pull out at the profit levels. This one gave you over 2 points, so you got another 2 points. So now you're up between 5 to 8 points, probably just under 9 for the day if you max out that first one. So you're up at least 5 by this time. And then this one and this one. So this one doesn't really take off yet. You'd only be down about 1.5 or so by the time we get to this one. So whether you took this one or this one obviously gave you more profit. This one gave you a little bit less because it's obviously a point difference. So you've got anywhere from 2 to 3 points, more points. So you're up between, roughly 8 to 11 points on the day if you took that. And then at that point, if your rule is to, trade the first entry, then obviously you'd be done. So you're up between 8 and 11 points in the first 2 hours of the day times $50 per point. So you're up somewhere in the ballpark of between $400 and $600 per contract. Now, for those of you that are trading multiple contracts and you're taking profit at the first level and then you're letting the rest run, then if you bought down here, which I know some of the traders in the room did, and you didn't get out here at a break even, then the rest of the day was obviously up. And as you can see, into the Globex, we actually hit to the tick that 53.25 that we gave out earlier in the day, back just after 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So can you trade the rest of the day? Yes, absolutely. Remember, every time price hits these levels, they get weaker and weaker. However, one thing that you want to keep in mind, and this is like support and resistance 101. When support and or resistance is broken and price comes back to that level, it makes it even stronger. So let me give you an example. So this acted as support. We broke it through down here. Now it acted as resistance, and we attempted to break up, it held, and we finally broke, and so now here's the retest as support again. So in those scenarios, very easy to see, you can start to rebuy these. Broke it, okay, it acted as resistance here, we broke it here, retested this to the tick, time to buy again. Okay, resistance, it broke it, took profit in here somewhere, time to buy again. And then we hit all of these next levels. So you can trade these all day long. You just have to use common sense. And what I like to do is just look at the basics. What are the basics of support and resistance? Well, support and resistance basics are that when support is broken, if and when it comes back to test it, like it did here, time to go short. Once that resistance is broken, like we had here, it's time to go long as it comes back down to test it. So this day, you're looking at upwards of 30 points or more had you traded the whole day. A lot of people ask, well, what about stop loss? Well, we have a video about that. We're pretty anti-stop loss. Doesn't mean that we don't use them, but most traders use them the wrong way. And so the most important thing when trading and making money is to manage the trade properly when you're in the trade. So this is a daily occurrence. I could scroll back to any day, and you could look at any of these days, and it's the same story over and over and over and over again. We're buying here, taking profit here. We're buying here, taking profit here. On this day we're buying down here, we're taking profit here. If it gets up here, we're selling, and we're taking profit just like we talked about. So it's the same story day after day. This day we're buying down here, we're selling up here, we're selling here. So you can look at our stats page. Our stats page only show what's in the room. If we were to post everything that you're able to do in a day, you're looking at in somewhere between 20 to 60 points every single day if you trade this all day long. We're not going to post that because most people can't trade all day long. But so we run the room for the first hour of the day, and you're typically going to have a handful of trades to get into in that first hour and walk away with profit. So a very typical day. The question always is, I don't know if I can do that. If you can follow instructions. So let's just look at the reality of this. We have these were posted. The first one was, all of these prices were posted at 7:23. So I'm in Mountain Time Zone US. That is 7 minutes before the market opens. What that means is I already know that I'm buying at these levels before the market even officially opens, the RTH time anyways. Okay, I'm already buying off those levels. I don't need to guess, or there's no indicators. You notice there's no indicators. There's no deciphering. Well, is this moving average doing this, or is this MACD doing that? We don't bother with that crap. All that stuff does for 97% of traders is mess you up, and you end up losing money. The market only cares about price. It doesn't care what a MACD is doing or a moving average is doing, and you shouldn't either. That's like looking in the rearview mirror while driving forward. You're not going to get very far. So we're looking at price, we're looking at exact prices, and we're going to buy and sell off of them, and you technically could do it all day long. You just have to be smart about it and use common sense of support and resistance. And that's it. That's all the market cares about. And then, of course, I would probably say the hardest thing about this is, if you've never traded before, is learning how to use the trading software on where to click buy and where to click sell. That's really the most difficult thing, which really has nothing to do with this. What you're getting in here is exact prices on where to buy and where to sell, and that's it. It's literally that simple. So what we suggest is practice the first week at least. There's a lot of traders that they want to make, $500, $1,000, $5,000 a day, which you can get there, but just be patient. Spend the first week at least, maybe even 2, getting used to the trading post and getting in and out of the trades, and ideally use a simulation account when you first start. And then once you've had a week at least, ideally 10 days where you're positive every day, then the rest is history. So a lot of traders say, well, how can you be positive every day? Well, hopefully you can see that there's really, if you screwed up and something went wrong, maybe you clicked the wrong button or whatever, there's enough trades that happen and the prices are extremely reliable that there's plenty of time in the day to make up for your mistakes. Here's we just got this the other day. This is actually a screenshot. This is a live account. So this is a trader who's been with us for under 2 months, and this was yesterday, and he has not had a losing day yet. You can see his, that was, he just pretty conservative, takes a couple trades a day, and believe he originally started with 5,000 in his account. He did add a little bit more so he could trade more contracts, but in that time he's well over 5 figures in that amount of time, and spent the first couple weeks practicing. So I could show you screenshot after screenshot after screenshot, but this is very repetitive. These price levels that we give were developed back in '07, and there's nothing like them out there. They're extremely reliable regardless of market conditions, and it's just very repetitive. So if you're looking for something simple, where do I get in, where do I get out, your job is just to click buy and sell and take profit where the price levels are given, and that's it. Below this video there's a code, and it will give you $250 off per month. There's a time limit on it, so you want to act quickly, and you can get started immediately. Join us on our next day, and we'll do it all over again.